Yo, what's good, guys? Welcome back again. In this video I'm going to be showing you a trade that I was able to take, and it was actually a pretty much simple one. And this was actually on XAUUSD. So let's see what it looks like. First of all, I had to get my trend line, and then I had to spot out all my liquidity levels on my trend line. As you can see right here, remember I'm working with different touches, so that is actually what I'm looking at right here. And first off, as you can see from the chart, this actually XAUUSD on 15 minutes time frame, and I was actually spotting out my trend and liquidity, as you can see right here. So I was able to get the first part. Let me take my time and then indicate all of this part so you can see pretty much clearly, and you can also see what I did and how I got the trade. So this is the first part I took. This actually got through to my trend line, and I also have a second part here. Of course, the second part, this other part, this third part was the breakout, and this is the first part. So I have the first part, the second part, and then the breakout, which you're seeing right here. And then price did some couples of consolidation, as you can see right here, of which I was pretty much patiently waiting at this point. And then price did all it did right here, and then what I had to do was to wait to see those liquidity sweep, which of course acted upon my zone. As you can see, this is my first zone, this is also another zone, and this is another zone. For by the way, if you don't know how to mark out your zone the right way, I'm going you could check through this channel. I've already made a video on that that can guide you on marking out your zones properly. This is another zone, and if you watch closely you see that my trend line is actually intersecting with my zone. So that is a pretty much confluence for me to be able to look at for my high probability setup. And then I was able to wait patiently to see this particular sweep right here, as you can see right here. And that particular sweep acted upon pretty much I had another block there. Of course, you can see it right on this time frame, but if I should scale down to a lower time frame, you would be seeing that particular order block right there. And that was actually how it played out and what happened. And then we had to wait for a retest. And remember, that sweep was actually a retest to the downside, as you can see right here. And that was how we got into this particular beautiful trade right here. As you can see, that was what printed out this move. And mind you, like I said, I had all my zones highlighted. As a trader, first thing you do is to get your zones, because if you don't get your zones, you won't know when you're supposed to exit that particular market or that particular trade entry. Very important. So if you're on buys on whatsoever currency pair, if you're a commodity trader or whatsoever, or a futures trader on indices, you have to understand how to market your zone. I've made a video on that on this channel. You could check, search, and you'll find it to watch. And then that was how I was able to take up my profits right at this other zone, as you can see right here. And this become a pretty much beautiful 1:5 risk to reward on the street. So pretty much that is it. If you enjoyed this video, do it to hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and so you'll be notified whenever it is bring a new video your way, or whenever it is recorded.